Hello, and welcome to the first edition of Community Corrections Transformed, powered by CorrectTech, where we let you focus on what matters. Today we're going to discuss real-world issues, specifically the application of evidence-based practices and principles as it relates to positive reinforcement. My name is Alexandra Walker, and I work for Time to Change Community Corrections, a community corrections facility in Colorado with more than 250 residential and non-residential clients. I also work for CorrectTech, a fully integrated and configurable community corrections case management software that tracks data on your client and program from A to Z. Today we're going to talk about how to use data to support the decision-making process. Specifically, we're going to talk about addressing the 4-to-1 ratio with clients. So what is the 4-to-1 ratio? The 4-to-1 ratio is the number of positive reinforcements to sanctions that are provided to clients. So if we start with sanctions, sanctions are the consequences that are provided to clients to hold them accountable for their negative or problem behaviors. Positive reinforcements, on the other hand, are the ways that we recognize and reinforce clients for the positive behaviors that they show. Research suggests that we should try to provide 4 positive reinforcements for every negative behavior that's displayed by clients. So how can you do that? Let me take a quick moment to show you how we document, track, and analyze our data using the CorrectTech software. Within CorrectTech, our staff are able to enter pro-socials that go directly to clients. They can see them on their kiosk, and there's also a record in their file. So staff can go right in and enter a specific pro-social to provide some recognition to clients for their positive behavior. As I mentioned, CorrectTech tracks those pro-socials, so you can go back and look at all of the pro-socials that have been received for a client within a given time frame or over the course of their entire supervision. Clients can also go back through and look at their positive reinforcements and be reminded of all the good stuff that they've done. It's also important to try to identify which clients to target for positive reinforcement. So on this particular screen, I can show you that CorrectTech tracks how many pro-socials and how many violations clients have received within specific time frames. On the left-hand side, the ratio column shows us whether or not the 4-to-1 ratio has been met. So when you see a 1 in the ratio column, that means that the 4-to-1 ratio was met. So that first row shows us that this gentleman received 5 pro-socials and 1 violation, which means that we met the 4-to-1. If in the ratio column you see a 0, that means that that individual did not receive 4-to-1 ratio. And we can see in that second column that that individual got 3 pro-socials and 1 violation. So we need at least 1 more pro-social to meet that 4-to-1 ratio. Within this screen, we can also look at a number of different things related to the client, specifically their stage of change, their treatment level, what areas they're working on, or any other facility information that we're interested in. By sorting by pro-social or by violation or even by the ratio, we can quickly identify who needs more pro-socials to help staff with their daily activities. So in order to help staff stay on target, we can also look at the pro-social ratio by staff member. So here we can look and see all of our different staff members, how many pro-socials they've written, and how many violations they've written, so that we can help staff to stay on target with writing more pro-socials and violations. Now that we have all this information, what do we do with it? Well, first, we have to gather and sort the data. While you're doing this, you really want to think about the story that you're trying to tell and the message that you want to send. So if you're thinking about targeting clients, or if you're trying to help staff with their daily operations and duties, then you want to make sure that you tailor that data so they get the message that you're trying to send. Then, of course, it's important to share it with staff. So you want to make sure that you are keeping it on staff's radar, as well as teaching them how they can access this data. Within CorrectTech, any staff member at any time can look and see what an individual's 4-to-1 ratio is, and if they need to be targeted, they can look at the entire facility, and they can also look at how well they're doing writing pro-socials versus violations. You want to use the data that you have to target specific clients, to make sure that clients who are getting lots of violations are also getting a lot of positive reinforcement. You want to use the data to help focus your staff's activities and attention, and follow up with them on a regular basis. If you keep it on their radar, they will keep it on their radar. And of course, you want to repeat. The more often you do this, the more it will become second nature, and the easier that you can access your data, the more likely it is that that will happen, that you can keep it on your radar and the radar of your staff so that you're addressing 4-to-1 with all of your clients. So to recap our discussion today, we covered that the 4-to-1 ratio is the number of positive reinforcements to sanctions, and this is the ratio that brings about the most effective long-term behavior change with clients. We've talked about how technology helps us to document, analyze, and use data to make decisions about which clients to target. Technology is the only way to make this happen, and CorrectTech helps you do this at the click of a button. We've shown you how you can use your data to share it with staff to help them do their jobs most effectively and really strategically plan their activities. And finally, we've shown you how you can support effective EVP implementation by using technology. What we know is that implementation works best when you know what you're trying to track, you know what you're trying to do, and then you look at it regularly. CorrectTech helps you do that. Stay tuned for the next edition of Community Corrections Transformed, where we cover rewards versus incentives. You can also check us out at www.correcttech.com and look through our vast array of content involving implementing evidence-based principles, community corrections software solutions, and lots of other ways that you and your staff can learn more about the risk-need responsivity theory and so on. If you've been impressed today by our data capabilities, you can also check us out online or contact us at info@correcttech.com to set up a demo.